Story 1. The Haunting Symphony of Apartment 13B. In the heart of an urban sprawl, where apartments towered like concrete giants, lived a man named Ethan. The lockdown had transformed his bustling neighborhood into an empty labyrinth. As the days stretched into weeks, Ethan started noticing strange occurrences in his apartment building. The once thriving symphony of life had been replaced by an unsettling silence, interrupted only by the occasional creaks and groans of the aging structure. One night, as Ethan lay in bed, he heard it, the distant sound of a piano. Apartment 13B, long vacated by its previous tenant, now echoed with haunting melodies. The tunes were melancholic, a lament that sent shivers down Ethan's spine. Curiosity overcoming fear, he decided to investigate. With each step down the dimly lit hallway, the music grew louder. Apartment 13B stood at the end, its door slightly ajar. As Ethan pushed it open, the music ceased abruptly. The room was empty, save for an old piano covered in dust. But the air was thick with an otherworldly presence. The haunting melodies returned sporadically, always at odd hours of the night. Ethan, unable to escape the symphony that seemed to emanate from the very walls, questioned his sanity. Was it a ghostly pianist, or a manifestation of his own unraveling mind? The truth remained elusive, leaving him trapped in the unsettling limbo between reality and the supernatural. Story 2. The Disappearing Neighbors. In a quiet suburban cul-de-sac, a community that once thrived on friendly banter over white picket fences found itself plunged into a sinister hush. Sarah, a resident of 23 Elm Street, watched as her neighbors slowly disappeared one by one. Initially attributing it to the strict lockdown measures, she dismissed her growing unease. The strangeness began when Sarah received an anonymous note slipped under her door. It contained a list of names, her neighbors, each with a corresponding date. The dates matched the days they had seemingly vanished. Fear gripped her heart as she realized her own name was at the bottom of the list, with tomorrow's date beside it. Desperation led Sarah to investigate the homes of those who had vanished. Each house was an eerie snapshot frozen in time, a half-eaten dinner on the table, a TV flickering in the living room, as if the occupants had evaporated into thin air. Panic set in as she realized the approaching inevitability of her own disappearance. On the fateful night, Sarah barricaded herself inside her home, clutching a kitchen knife. The air turned dense with a chilling anticipation. As the clock struck midnight, the darkness swallowed her street, leaving behind an empty shell of a neighborhood. Sarah was never seen again. Story 3. The Unseen Roommate. Jake, a college student, found himself stranded in his dormitory when the lockdown measures were imposed. The once lively campus turned desolate, leaving Jake alone in his room with only the hum of the flickering fluorescent lights for company. But soon, he sensed an unseen presence sharing his space. In the dead of night, Jake would hear soft whispers that seemed to emanate from the corners of his room. At first, he dismissed them as products of his restless imagination. However, as the days passed, the whispers grew more distinct, forming eerie conversations that left Jake on edge. One evening, as he sat at his desk studying, the whispers coalesced into a chilling voice. It spoke of forgotten sorrows and ancient regrets, a spectral monologue that sent shivers down Jake's spine. Desperate to escape the unseen roommate, he sought solace in the university's empty halls. In the abandoned corridors, Jake stumbled upon a dusty old book hidden in the library's forgotten alcove. The pages spoke of an ancient ritual, one that summoned spirits from the afterlife. A sinking realization struck him. His unseen roommate was no figment of his imagination, but a spectral entity tethered to the dormitory by an age-old incantation. Fueled by a newfound courage, Jake embarked on a quest to unravel the mystery. The ritual's solution, however, demanded a sacrifice, one that would sever the spectral ties binding him to the unseen roommate. As he faced the chilling choice, Jake couldn't help but wonder if the price of liberation was worth the descent into a darkness that transcended the boundaries of the living and the dead. In the eerie vacuum of the lockdown, where time seemed to stand still, these three tales unfolded, revealing that horror could be as contagious as the silence itself. The true terror, it seems, wasn't just in the empty streets and vacant buildings, but in the unseen, lingering shadows that thrived in the depths of isolation.